anointing is developed. In other words, God has to shape some stuff. God has to move some stuff. God has to make some stuff. God has to remove some things in order for your anointing to work properly. So while David was in the midst of the field and he was with the sheep, God was sitting there shaping some stuff. God was forming some stuff. God was making him humble. And I come to tell somebody today that you may be just an usher in the house of God, and you might feel like I'm just an intercessor, and I may be on the praise team, and nobody never called me for a solo, and nobody never called me to do anything, but baby, I come to tell you that God is shaping something. God is developing something. God is doing something. You may be a preacher and nobody calls you to preach, but I come to tell you that God is shaping something, because while David was there in the field, the Bible declares that God was sitting there beginning to develop him to become the king. Somebody touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, you don't look like what you're about to become. I know you're down right now. You don't have no money in your pocket, but God is getting ready to send somebody that's going to call you out. I know your voice may crack every time you sing, and you might not be able to hit the high notes, but God's getting ready to send somebody that's going to use your low place to get you to the place. Yes. I feel like preaching now. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, the next thing that David learned is David learned how to handle confrontation. Whenever you are anointed, you can't be limp-wristed, sissified, backdoor bending over, but you gotta be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. You gotta be ready to fight for what the Lord said is yours. That's why David, he sat there, and there were many times that he had to fight off the wolves that came in the midst of the sheep. I want to tell you that you're going to have to fight when you're anointed. Don't get happy when you get anointed, because the next thing comes is your ability to fight. Somebody touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I ask God to deliver me from a lot of things, but there's one thing I don't want God to deliver me from, and that's my ability to fight, because I gotta fight some church folk, I gotta fight some low-level devils, I gotta fight some sedity demons, I gotta fight some high-class devils, I gotta fight some limp-wristed, sissified, scary cat Christians that don't want to step out of the boat, but I've been called by God himself. I've been called to bring a new order. I've been called to change up the way things are structured. I've been called to change the way things are made. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't look like what I am about to be, so excuse me, I gotta get there. Touch your neighbor and shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake up your neighbor, shake up your neighbor. You ain't grabbing your neighbor, shake up your neighbor, shake them up and say, neighbor, I come to wake you up, because the man of God is here to tell you that you're not where you get ready to be. You may be here in this little storefront church, but I prophesy to Judah today, this ain't where we're going to be. I come to speak to somebody that's working at Publix. I come to tell you that ain't where you're going to be. I come to prophesy to somebody on welfare, child support, and Section 8. I come to tell you that ain't where you're going to be. You ain't got the suit, you ain't got the money, you ain't got the car, but it ain't where you're getting ready to be. I feel like preaching. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I am the one that you're looking for. I'm the one that's in the back. I'm the one that's been waiting. I'm the one that's been in the field. I'm the one that's been laboring. I'm the one that's been trying. I'm the one that's been crying. I'm the one that's been weeping. I'm the one that's been working hard and nobody sees. I'm the one. Touch your neighbor and say, if you're looking for somebody, it is me. I'm next. I'm next. I'm next. I'm next. I'm left. Stay in the field. Stay with the sheep. Keep being a muscle.